join discord.gg/flatearth and enter a check-in room. Someone will come along and verify you to get involved in the conversation about our Earth.
Lexa and Quaza return.
You were saying, Lexa?
What are you talking about?
I don't know. You were talking. Do you want to say something?
I don't know. I'm listening just to get what you're talking about right now.
We're talking about the guy that was in here before. He was claiming an infinite radius to the celestial sphere.
So he thinks that the Earth has an infinite radius?
Okay, I don't know if you heard the French guy that was in here just a while ago. You remember him? You were in here. You were in here. His name is Nico.
Nico.
You weren't paying attention, were you?
I was. I promise I was, but maybe I didn't just remember his name.
Boy.
I was, but I just don't remember his name. That means you weren't paying attention.
Is that Lexa?
Well,
Hey, Lexa.
I mean, just listen. I mean, I'm not always looking at Discord, you know.
That's fine. Lexa, is that you? Yesterday we spoke to you and to your brother. Thanks for allowing your brother to jump on the mic. He was awesome, and you as well. Do you brought any proof of the claims from yesterday? Today? Do you brought it today or no?
Well, I have other proof, but I just want to listen.
No evidence of the radius of the Earth, like 8 inches per mile square, that kind of stuff.
Evidence to calculate the radius of the Earth.
I know.
An actual measurement for that. Do you have? Because yesterday we spoke a little bit about it. Today you probably already found it, and you can share it with us. Have you guys spoke about this stuff?
Yeah. Let me try to fill you in, Jemsy, before he chimes in. He came in here a little bit earlier, like maybe an hour or two ago, and he was. I don't know if he was upset or he just concerned or what he was, but he was starting to talk about how his brother is trying to think about the Earth as a flat stationary, but he says he never will. Because he's not gonna fall for what you guys are saying. Lexa, this guy, the one that's in here, right, the 14-year-old, he was saying that about his brother, and I was like, you can't say that about your brother. Your brother has his own mind. He can think about this critically any way he wants. And he was like, nope. He's not gonna think about it, and he got really defensive about it. Like he's not gonna allow his brother to think what he wants. So he wants to control what his brother thinks and the information his brother receives, because he doesn't want his brother to investigate for himself. Well, isn't that right, Lexa?
He talked to me like an hour ago, and he just told me he don't really think that the Earth is round. He don't really know, but he thinks that the Earth is probably more flat than round. It's not sure.
Hey, Lexa, can you have a flat round table? You know, or you can have a frisbee that is flat and round. Can you?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, if you want, I call it a sphere.
Oh, you're the one making the claim, not me. But if you want to be specific about something, just be a little specific, because, you know, you work for the, I mean, don't you, you are aspiring to promote the sphere and talk to people about it, right? And tell people sphere, because sphere. But
yes,
the terms are important when you're going to talk about that stuff. Be specific.
Okay.
But you don't have to do as I say, but if you're telling your brother what to do and how to think, and he has to believe what you believe, that's not how stuff works.
Right. Just remember,
that's your older brother. You should be maybe listening more to him a little more and considering what he's considering possible.
He doesn't really have any opinion.
Oh, your brother doesn't have opinions?
He doesn't really have a strong opinion on the flat Earth conspiracy.
Okay, but he's taking information in and considering it, right? He is doing that. He told you.
Yes.
And you are capable of doing that as well. Your brother is. You are as well.
Yes.
New information that shows you maybe another perspective from the information that you've been listening to for 14 years.
Yes.
Yeah, and you can still be an engineer and do you know, like you want to do. What are you aspiring for? Engineering or science computer? What are you doing?
Space engineer, like rocket science and stuff, you know.
Okay, yeah, you can work on that. You can devise rockets. You can devise, let's say, so-called Saraloons. You know, the device that's gonna go on the balloon, and you can send it. You can send it up
Not
very
not
high.
balloons.
You can do that
Real
stuff.
I'm talking about real rockets that go into space.
Right, the rockets that go high up, because you know rockets go very high up and then they come down. You know that, right?
Well, I know that rockets have multiple stage, and usually the last stage stay in orbit. That's what's happened. I mean, in
Yeah,
your
but that
world,
doesn't mean outer space, right? You know that doesn't follow.
well, what do you mean by outer space?
Yeah, they claim in the Baltar that you're gonna go to this place that very low pressure is next to a high pressure system. That kind of like fantasy place that nobody can find, demonstrate, go to. That place. You're not going to La La Land. In reality, you're gonna devise the rocket. You're gonna devise the technology and the camera system and whatever you're gonna do with that technology, and then you're gonna send it very high up and do things up there. But it's not going to Narnia or La La Land, is it?
Well, in my world, it is going to go in space and go in the location it needs to go, but of course, in your
Have you
vision,
considered what that actually means in practical reality? Because you are very capable of doing all these that you're saying in the practical sense of things, but it's not going to Fantasyland, the violation of natural law. You think you can devise something here in the ground, utilizing natural laws than here, and somehow you're gonna go to La La Land and use the same device to explore Fantasyland that doesn't exist, the violation of natural laws?
well,
Does that follow?
what's nature?
Does that make any sense to you?
Well, explain me, please. Just explain me why does it violate law of nature?
Because right now you can expand your lungs, right? Take a deep breath. Do it with me. Come on. Double.
Yes.
Expand your lungs, a lot of air. The air pressure that is around you, right? Is rose
Yes.
the volume that you're expanding, right? Of your lungs.
Yes.
The antecedent, the thing that must be before something else to be, the antecedent. You know what that means? Okay. So the antecedent for that gas pressure and the gas pressure gradient, the antecedent to all those is a container. Right?
Well,
just like your lungs, when you expand the lungs and you expand the volume, right?
Yeah, just to let you know, I've heard this like 1,000 times, and like always,
Just to let you know, if you heard it, it's one thing. If you comprehend it, it's a different thing. Do you comprehend it?
Yes, I do. And the thing is that, like always, I always say, it's the gravity that's pulling air and making it stay on Earth.
What's making the gas stay? What's making the gas pressure stay? What are you saying?
It is making the gas pressure stay. Yes.
What is? Are you saying something is doing something? What is that something that's doing the other thing, keeping the gas pressure? What are you claiming?
Gravity.
Gravity. What's that?
Gravity is what is pulling everything into this. It is very massive objects that are pulling everything next to them, and it's not applying just for massive objects. Everything is pulling on everything. For example, I am currently pulling on you, and you are pulling, for example, in an extremely far atom on the universe. It's just so small that you can't even notice it.
What?
So you said a bunch of things.
Yes.
This that you just said, all the words put together that you just said, is that something that you read somewhere from a book, or you've heard someone saying it? Where do you get this information from? Are you the originator, the source?
No, I'm not.
Okay, so where do you got it from?
Well, for example, NASA explained it. A lot of science channel does explain it, and for example, as you mentioned it in books, you can see it.
Okay, so explanations. So where the explanations are in a book, right? You read it from the book, and it says gravity, a word. This word means that it does things. So like making spheres, causing this and causing that. You're reading that, right? The gravity is attracting to the center of mass, and you're reading all that. How many paragraphs was this? Like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3 paragraphs of information that you read?
It was when I was pretty young. It was like a thing designed for children, so it was like one paragraph long.
Okay, one paragraph you read of this gravity word, and it does things. And where the reference that you read, that book, right? Referencing something like a test, or maybe an experiment, or maybe a demonstration. Where is that? Where is that the book is talking about? Can you show me that?
You want me to show an experiment of gravity, or just show you the book?
The scientific paper of the people, the date, everything put together, and it's gonna be the scientific theory that has been demonstrated by the scientific method, and now you have the scientific theory already proposed on paper. Do you have that? And that is sourcing the demonstration, right? Do you have it? The how the cause and effect relationship that you're claiming that gravity is doing this. Where is the how methodology? Where is it?
The Cavendish experiment.
Anybody want to reply to that? Because I need to take a breath. But thank you, Alexa, for replying to
The ultimate authority.
My name is Lexa.
No, we'll deal with the actual method, Kiwi. I think I'm gonna get into the method. Lexa, what did they do in the Cavendish experiment?
All right. Let me tell you. Okay.
Do you have to look this up?
Yes.
Okay. So you don't know what's been done. You just quickly look it up right now and expect that when you look it up, there's going to be an answer there that tells you, right?
Yes, and the answer will probably be right.
But you know what's wrong with what you just done right now?
What's wrong? Do I need to be an encyclopedia to be right?
No. If you are claiming right now that you are right because gravity exists, and now you have to look it up, do you know that you just believe, like a religious belief, that this thing is true?
Do you know that I could say you can go into a rocket, but the thing is that you don't believe in rockets.
Lexa,
say that.
Lexa, hang on. Before anybody, don't chime in, Kiwi. 1 second. Lexa, do you understand what I just told you?
Well, listen, I could have said.
Do you understand, Lexa? Lexa, do you understand? What did I just explain to you?
You explained to me that, like a religion, before that moment, I didn't know how to explain gravity. And in fact, I knew how to explain it. The thing is that the only way I possibly knew how to do this is to explain by rocket science. And the thing is that you don't really seem to believe in rocket and space. So that's...
It's not about a belief, Lexa. It's not about a belief. I told you this yesterday. You have to provide evidence for what you're claiming.
I could have provided evidence by rockets, but the thing is that you don't believe in rockets.
You don't have... No, it's not about a belief, Lexa. You keep saying that word as if it's something that you can say. It's not. What I'm asking for is the evidence. If you're claiming it's going to a certain location that you don't have evidence where it's at, then you can't make the claim. It's a belief you have. That's your belief that it's in that medium. When you say it's going to the vacuum of space, then I'm asking you, how do you know that? You say, well, yesterday, this is what you said. I have an app that I can follow, or I can look at a computer screen. This is what you said, right? Is this not what you said?
I said that there was an application that can tell you when to look up, and you will see a bright dot, and this is probably a space orbiter or satellite. That's what I said.
Yeah, probably, but maybe it's something else.
Well, it's probably a satellite or a space debris.
So, do you know the word that you just used? Probably means that it's suggestive. A suggestive term means that it could be that. It might be something else.
It could be. I'm gonna say it is because.
No, it is definitive. It is definitive. It means you do know 100%.
If it isn't satellites, what would it be?
Well, that is not my claim, sir. That is your claim, and that's why I'm making you actually look at how you're wording things, which is so important when we're in this discussion. We either know or we don't know, right? So the difference between you knowing something or you just think you know, right? Like the way you're telling me right now.
But like
no, you don't, Lexa. You don't know, Lexa.
Can you stop cutting me, please?
Can we talk the brother? Can I let the brothers speak? Okay, let's listen to the brothers talk about this.
My brother isn't here right now.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is, Lexa. Let him speak. Go ahead.
Quaza, go ahead.
Well, I'm just listening right now because I think it's interesting to let him speak. You know, he's really good when it comes to science, right? I think he's a very smart kid. So
I think he is.
All right.
yeah, we need to
All
let
right.
him speak.
All right, wait, stop. Before you jump in, I need clarification. When he uses term,
look-
what? Yeah,
oh,
let
go
me
ahead,
just
go
let me
ahead.
just fin-
Yeah,
let me, I just want to finish this point. When I'm clarifying to him is the distinction between him saying the words that are suggestive, like probably, right, and him saying definitive terms like it is. So when he says probably, he does not know. He believes. When he say it is definitive. That means he knows, which would be followed by some kind of example or method that he can tell us. So this is important, right? If we lose sight, it doesn't matter what he says. It's only when he uses the suggestive terms like it could be, it probably, maybe. These terms are suggestive, means he doesn't know, he only believes. And we don't want to hear about beliefs. We want to hear him tell us it is. And here's the method. Here's what you do. That's what we want. We want evidence, not somebody's belief. Go ahead.
Well, what do you want me to explain?
Well, we were talking about gravity at the moment, but you said the only way I can explain it is with rockets. And I don't need you to.
concede, and he can concede you don't have. You can say, hey, rockets, a different book. We're gonna move away from this. Remember the page that we were reading, the paragraph that you read when you were younger. You said that we were on this page. So if you want to go to a different book, rockets, a different page, eventually we can move on. But before concede that you don't have the demonstration of the claim in the book, can you concede at the least?
Does he know the word concede, Jepsy? Maybe he doesn't.
Sorry?
Do you know what concede means, Lexa?
Concede.
Yes, the word.
Concession.
Jepsy? You want to tell him?
Can you tell him?
So concede means that if you don't have the evidence for something, you be honest and say, I don't have the evidence for this.
Okay.
That's what a concession is, that you don't have the evidence. So you have to admit that you don't. You're conceding.
Practically.
You have to admit it.
Well, you see, the only way for now that I could have explained gravity is just by rockets science, and I guess for you it doesn't quite work because I'm not sure if it is the case, but you don't seem to believe that rockets goes into orbit and stuff. So
Do you have evidence?
So in
Go ahead.
in no other terms, I can say that I have no evidence or no real evidence to your eyes.
Dis
Of
pas
course.
ça, putain.
The thing that you're saying is that the thing that you're saying is that rockets work because of gravity, and you're
T'as pas d'évidence.
antecedents.
En
You put
quoi on
in
dit Arnaud, parce que j'entends rien du tout.
No, they're speaking. Guys, yeah, okay. You put in like an antecedent. You're saying gravity is the antecedent of rockets working, like you devising the rockets and devising the technology and putting all the calculations together, based that you're gonna make that work on a cartoon model that you haven't verified, you haven't demonstrated, you haven't measured. But you're still saying that that's what you're basing. That is the antecedent to you be able to make a rocket work. Is that your claim?
Wait, oh my God. Sorry.
You're claiming that the antecedent for you to build rockets and make them work, it's gravity.
Jepsy, I think he's preoccupied. You might want to wait till he stops being.
He's my bad.
Jepsy is explaining to you right now, Lexa. But if you're preoccupied, please put yourself on mute because it doesn't sound like you're paying attention. Yeah. Because he asked you something that you're not paying attention. So please put yourself on mute. You're disrespecting Lexa. Listen, stop. You're gonna disrespect my chat by not paying attention. Put yourself on mute and let somebody else come into the chat. I know we want to speak to you, but you're not paying attention to what Jemsy's saying, and you're disrespecting the chat. You know what disrespecting means, right?
I know.
Okay, so please put yourself on mute if you're gonna be busy, and come back when you have your full attention. Otherwise, please do not speak.
Okay.
So put yourself on mute, or else you'll be helped to do that. Locally mute yourself, as in mute your microphone.
I'm not occupied.
All right, so I'll do it.
Jeez.
If we do not have your full attention, I don't want to have my panel be saying things over and over again because you're preoccupied.
Perhaps I could explain him to him because he doesn't know much English, so
Go ahead,
That's
Quaza.
Okay, though,
fine.
just as a,
His English is fine.
we're not necessarily
Sorry?
looking for explanations. We're looking for the evidence, a demonstration, the proof. We know how it's supposed to work. We just want to see how it actually is working, if it is.
well,
Go ahead.
you know, he's the one who should provide evidence because I'm not. Like I
That's
said,
fine
I'm
with
not
me.
into this. I said
You,
yes.
you know what? I don't want to put
No,
the
I
burden
said
on
this yesterday.
Lexa.
No, I'm not.
Oh, I don't want to be the. He's claiming it, so yeah, I'm gonna ask for it, right? But I mean, he doesn't have it, so
I would
That's
say
it,
one
right?
thing, and that is he probably doesn't get everything that you're saying, so it's hard for him. But
It's kind of I figured that, Quaza. That's why I'm saying like I wanted Gemsy to kind of the words that we're using in English probably are not translating over for you guys, or at least
No.
for him, because he's right. That's what I figured.
That's fine,
Preceding
that's-
is from
that's-
Latin, and French is a Latin language, so
Some words. I'm not not all the words, just some words. Like conceded. I don't think he understands what conceding means. So
Oh yeah, probably not.
So but outside of that, he understood most of everything else. But if he does have that evidence, I do want him to speak for himself, even though you're still here, Quaza. But if there's something he doesn't understand, could you explain it to him in French?
yes,
maybe?
I will.
Okay.
You
So
just unmute him because I think he's ready to speak now. No, I'm not
Okay.
sure.
we got his full attention because you can tell him in French, hey, man, give these guys your attention if you're going to talk to them. If not, he's going to go back on mute.
Okay.
That's all I got to say. Go ahead, Lexa.
Yes. So, just as for gravity, as I told you, I have no evidence. Just
What do you
Thank you.
mean? Like,
what do you mean? I mean,
how is gravity evidence the Earth is a ball?
Well, I think I can answer this because we already talked about this. Bon, vas-y, Axel, dis-leur juste, t'inquiète.
je leur dis quoi du coup?
Tu sais, parce qu'en gros, il dit comment la gravité, ça prouve que la Terre est ronde, du coup. Tu sais, le truc simple, qu'en mode. Ça serait au milieu dans la gravité, tu vois, ça ferait une boule, obligé.
Ouais. Il
en
donne
gros,
juste
il-
sûr?
guys, I see the necessity of speaking in your language, but I will say, respect to you guys for having the conversation, brothers. But do this chat, another language chat, do it in the back chats because we can't comprehend it.
He's translating the question, I guess. I'm
Yeah,
hoping.
no,
Yeah,
it's
he's
just translating,
translated.
but the arguments are going to
Okay,
be.
and then he's gonna reply to the question.
Yeah.
Lexa's gonna reply in
English.
English. Okay.
Du coup, je leur dis pourquoi la gravité fait que la Terre est ronde.
Oui, voilà, juste ça. Voilà.
Okay, so my brother told me that you ask why the gravity make the Earth round, right?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
okay. So gravity makes the Earth round because gravity apply at the center of mass, and it apply evenly in almost all the direction, which make objects affected by strong gravity completely round.
So we're back to the page that
Yeah,
we
hold
spoke
on, hold
about
on.
before. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, hold on. Is there any actual evidence for that? Has anyone observed gravity forming things into a ball?
There
Is it predicted by the physics model?
There is an
Do you have a
experiment.
demonstration? Oh, what experiment is that?
Well, as I told you, the Cavendish experiment, but I
Form something into a ball?
Sorry.
That formed a bunch of particles into a ball?
Well, not exactly, but
Okay,
we know,
so then what's the Cavendish have to do with it?
we know that gravity, if with this
You don't
experiment,
know it, you're claiming it, and I'm asking
No.
how we have the knowledge for the claim, right?
just,
Faut que tu me convertisses.
if we know that the gravity exists and it's applied evenly when we look at the Earth, we will then see that it is spherical and stuff. And
Yeah, great. That's a claim, dude. See, you're confused. You think
Well,
just
that's-
saying gravity predicts things form into a ball. You think that that's somehow evidence for the claim. No. If that was the prediction, what would you have to go do? You'd have to go test it, right? You'd have to go test it with an experiment.
yes,
Okay,
Well,
so what's that experiment?
So just wanted to get in quickly. That's actually two fallacies wrapped into one. Because you begged the question, and then you've also made a baseless assertion based on the begging the question fallacy, because you haven't got any real world data to support what you've said either.
Okay, so just as I told you, there is an experiment, but I don't know that one very, very well, and that's not really the subject I'm fully in.
Well, listen, I know about the Cavendish, whatever, but that in no way shows that gravity forms a whole bunch of particles into a ball. Nothing about that. You cannot deduce from that experiment that conclusion.
Vraiment aucun moyen d'expliquer la gravité, sérieusement.
Ben non, je sais pas. Enfin,
Putain, mais t'as...
non, mais l'autre là, il veut pas écouter.
Arrête, mais ils vont...
So I bring this up.
On peut essayer de passer sur autre chose au pire.
I'm bringing this up for a specific reason. It's not accidental that I asked you this question.
Sorry?
A lot of globe earthers come in here and they say the same thing. They come in and say, gravity proves Earth is a ball. And then I ask for the evidence for it. It's not predicted by the physics. So if you run a simulation with a bunch of particles, like a computer simulation,
Okay,
they don't get a ball, right? It's never been observed in nature, and there's no experiment that demonstrates it. So that is just a claim with no evidence, right? It's just a claim.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
tell
let me
him,
translate
Quaza.
him. Okay. Axel, ok, je veux dire un truc, ça a rien à voir, ok? Mais demande-leur, tu sais, s'il n'y a pas de gravité, comment est-ce que t'es attiré vers la Terre, tu vois? Genre, c'est ça que je comprends pas. Demande-leur si, genre, par exemple, tu sais, c'est constant, tu vois?
So, I have a question for you guys. That's it's not included in what we are talking, but why are we all pulled down? Just a random question. Why?
Nobody knows the answer to that.
No, I don't know.
Nobody knows the answer. There's no experiment that can
10 personnes ne connaissent
demonstrate.
No one knows.
So you want to know the cause of falling objects, right? The causal mechanism why objects fall to the ground, right?
Yes.
Okay. What experiment can demonstrate that? Now, if we're going to think of an experiment in our head, we want to know the cause of this apple falling. What experiment can we do?
Well, as I told you, the only experiment that I know, remember...
Attends, parce que... Ouais,
Yeah, Cavendish, right? Nothing is falling in Cavendish either.
Wait,
right? There's no
let me just
falling
translate to him.
objects.
Let me translate to him, please. En gros,
Yeah.
il te parle, tu sais, il parle de... Il a dit un truc genre, à propos d'une pomme qui tombe, tu sais, genre en mode ça, c'est testable, tu vois.
Ouais.
Et j'ai pas très bien compris la suite, en fait.
Bah, moi non plus.
Ok, mais t'as compris ça, il a dit... could you repeat, Injo, what you said, please? To get the full sentence?
Okay. Yeah. So he asked me basically, what's the cause of falling? Why do things fall? Right? The causal mechanism. There's no experiment that can demonstrate that. Right? Because to figure out the cause of an effect, there's a certain way you have to do the experiment. You have to manipulate the cause, the presumed cause, and observe a change in the effect. Right? We can take an object. We can take two objects of different mass, right? And we drop them, and they fall at the same rate, right?
Yes.
So we just manipulated what people say is the cause, mass attracting mass. We manipulated them, but there's no change in the effect, right? So the experiment that would definitively show it doesn't exist, and that's why there's 20, 30 theories of gravity.
Well,
there's not just Newton. There's Einstein. There's Gaussian. There's Machian. There's shitloads of gravity models.
Okay, so just let me tell you that there is an experiment that is proving gravity. It's called the Cavendish experiment. And at least, even if you don't believe the Cavendish experiment, we have an experiment trying to at least prove that the gravity does exist. Because you don't even have a single clue for why things are going down in your...
Neither do you.
Yes, we have.
Okay, so I asked you, there's nothing, listen, nothing goes down in the Cavendish experiment. How can you say Cavendish experiment shows the reason things go down when nothing goes down in the experiment you're doing?
Why things should go down? There is nothing that is saying that things should go down. Unless in your theory, but there is nothing Like there's no.
He's not understanding, Indio. He's not getting it.
No,
He's
he
not
does
getting
get it. No, he gets it.
Either he
And
gets it and he's just trying to rumpus and go over the same thing, because he's done this to me before. He'll say the same thing over and over again, like it's going to change the outcome of what he's saying. It's not going to change.
I'm just telling him that.
How do you logically get from the Cavendish? Do you even know what's observed in the Cavendish experiment? Describe it to me.
I think he's too young for this, to be honest.
Yeah, just describe it to me. What happens? What's observed? You have no idea.
No,
Somehow
because he had to look it up. The moment I asked him earlier, he punched it into Google because he didn't know. So for gravity, me and Jemsy were talking to him. He on the spot Googled it, and I was like, "What are you doing? Why are you searching it up?" Because like, I don't know that. I've never researched this, and he just started to look it up right there. I'm like, "You see how you're doing it right now? You didn't know before, and what do you think you're going to gain by looking at it now? Like you're going to be an expert at what this thing's about? You have no idea of what this is." And you're not going to presume to tell this people and the panel what you're going to know when you have no idea yourself. What is this? This is
a good illustration, though. Someone just said to him, Cavendish proves gravity, has no idea what the experiment is, has no idea what's observed, and just says, yes, I'm going to take that, make a leap of logic, and go to this is why things fall. Dude, when you set up a Cavendish experiment, it's a torsion bar, right? Hanging from a wire with balls hanging down. Typically, this is how it's done, with weights on the bottom. So this thing will rotate, right? Sometimes, depending if you set it up correctly. So it'll rotate, and then it'll oscillate back and forth. They time the speed of the oscillation, right? The angle of rotation, to infer G from that. They don't just stick together. So think about what I just said. I set up a contraption. I watch some balls oscillate. Therefore, that's why things fall. That's dumb as fuck. Sorry.
Who's laughing?
Doesn't matter. Did you pay attention to what he just said?
Because you don't know what the experiment is. Like when I'm here, I'm just assuming you know what it is, and you're saying, "Oh, Cavendish proves the reason things fall." Nothing can be further from the truth. It's like me rubbing two sticks together is what's proof of building a table. It has nothing to do with it. They're not even the same thing.
All right, may I speak now?
Yeah,
he's punching way above his weight, dude. Like, and he thinks that him being in here saying, "May I speak now?" That's not going to make you understand things, Lexa. You don't know. You need to go away. You need to go away and research. You need to research this information. Listen, Lexa, listen to me. When you come into this panel, you have to be well informed about your position, and you're not well informed about your position. You're a 14-year-old kid who thinks they know everything and are bullying their brother because you're bullying your brother, and you're acting like you know Mr. Know-It-All, and you don't know shit in this panel. And it's becoming very tired when you say, "Just let me speak." We're not going to let you speak because you don't know, sir.
Then what's the point of talking?
That's right. Put yourself on mute and go away and do research.
Listening. That's the thing. You should be listening, not talking at this stage.
Or researching, because you have no idea of your position right now. And this panel is tired of you saying, "Let me speak," when you have no knowledge about what you're talking about.
So, Lexa, did you see what I posted in chat? Like a 3 or 4 posts? Simulating asteroid rubble piles with self-gravitating south sphere distinct element method model, right? So what they do is they take a model in a 3D simulation and they, apply gravity to it, and then this is what forms. They don't get balls. They get all sorts of random shapes, right? They don't get balls. So let's say, okay, gravity predicts Earth will become a ball. We'd have to confirm that by measuring a ball, right? That's how science works, right? You have a model, it makes a prediction, then you go test the prediction. And that's how you confirm it, right? Try to falsify it. Oh, we have a model. Gravity falls off inversely proportional to the square of the distance. You keep saying pull to the center of the Earth. That's the shit they teach kids in school. That's garbage. They don't even tell you the right thing. But that's besides the point, right? So eventually you have to get to the experimental phase where you confirm, right, the model by measuring the Earth to be the ball they say it is. Without the ball, you can't get rockets in orbits. You can't get any of this stuff. The radius has to be a specific value. It can't be a different value. It has to be 3959. You realize that, right? That gravity has to, or the Earth's radius has to be 3959. Cannot be any other value. You know that, right?
Compris ou pas?
Lexa. Can't be a bigger radius.
Yeah, the interesting
Compris ou pas?
The interesting thing about the Cavendish
No,
experiment, if you think about it, just thinking about the Cavendish experiment in terms of like a probabilistic outcome, right? So if you were to say just remove the balls and just have a torsion beam on its own and hung from a ceiling or whatever, what is the probability that it would turn clockwise or counterclockwise? Well,
You know, that's a good question. I've asked that.
En fait, j'entends
It's a
rien.
50% more or less,
Mais
right?
moi, j'écoute pas ce
Maybe
qu'ils disent parce que
50%
c'est des
clockwise.
baptistes, hein, j'écoute pas ce qu'ils disent.
Et là, on basse boost.
So, yeah, it would be 50% clockwise and it'd be 50% counterclockwise, right? So, if you wanted to, and let's just say the balls had absolutely no effect whatsoever, you would have a 50% chance of getting it right accidentally, but not based on what the Cavendish is supposed to be proving, right? So, you've got a 50% chance of getting the result that you want based on the effect not even being present that you think is influencing the turning of that bar. So you understand then that if you were to do that experiment 100 times, 50 you could where it turned the wrong way, you could just assume, oh well, you know, I just must have done it wrong, so we'll just discard those results. And now you have the 50 results that all seem to confirm something that's not happening, just purely based on probability.
Yeah, so here's the thing, the way they set it up, it can turn either way, right? It can actually turn either direction. It's centered, right? So you got two balls, right?
Okay.
And the other balls, it can spin to the left or clockwise or counterclockwise. So the thing is, 50% chances it would only be if it's perfectly balanced.
Ok,
Right.
tu m'expliques. Vas-y,
Yeah, go
vas-y,
ahead.
explique.
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
Can I say something now?
Yeah.
Right. So the thing is that from the beginning I said I had no real clue for the gravity, and now it's been like 10 to 15 minutes that you guys are telling me you have no argument. You're talking about a subject that you don't even know. I said from the beginning that I didn't have clue. So why are you guys keep it up like that? This is nonsense.
Okay.
Nonsense.
Okay, so you've just got some bad feelings now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's right. So the problem is that from what I've heard, because I've only just come in, but from what I've heard, sounds like you asserted that gravity exists, which is a claim, and you've then asserted that the Cavendish experiment is how you prove that. Now, I think the reason that people are going on about that is because you've wasted everyone's time by making these silly claims with no evidence to back it up.
Guillerodi.
C'est un fa, c'est pas possible.
Yeah, listen, we understand the gold model. Everybody here is perfectly educated in the gold model. We all went to the same schools. We all learned the same things. We all know it, right? The difference between us and you is we actually investigated it, right? We checked their claims for whether they had evidence, and they don't. It's sad story. Or the evidence doesn't actually logically lead to the conclusions that they reach from them. For example, the Cavendish experiment is a description of why things fall. That's nonsense. It's not even logical, even a little bit. It's a non sequitur. It does not logically follow from that test. But this is what you have to be alert to, is that why are they teaching you a messed up model of gravity in school? Why did they teach it to all of us? Gravity pulls everything to the center. Why would they teach that? Because that's not the universal law of gravitation. Universal law of gravitation is every particle in the universe attracts every other particle in the universe inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Right? That's not everything gets pulled to the center. That's a simplification. Right? So why do they teach that? Then why do they say, okay, look at this here, everything in space is a ball because everything gets pulled to the center? Yeah, that's great if you want to brainwash kids, but they don't. That's not even the real quote unquote model, if that's what you want to call it.
Remember that in your theory, you don't even know
have a
how to
theory.
explain why finger pull down. Remember that.
Neither can you.
Well, I at least have an experiment. You don't even have one, and this
Wait a minute.
experiment is just misunderstood by you.
Welcome to Lexa. Welcome to Lexa,
He
guys.
just freaking
That's all he
respawn.
does. That's all he does, by the way.
Indio, can I ask him a question,
Not,
please?
oh,
Yo, Lex, I have a question for you, dude. You talk about
Yeah, go ahead.
What's your experiment, man?
I said it was a Cavendish experiment, but listen.
Alright, but like,
Okay, listen. Just
local-
I can turn around and say to you, I've got the flipper. Yeah.
Okay. Locally, your gravity, how does it exist? How does it display it? How does it display itself?
Well, as I just told you, it's by applying at the center of mass.
Sorry, what?
It's apply at the center of mass.
It's a fly at the center?
It's
It
apply
applies.
Look, could you
at
speak with some
gravity
oomph in your
apply
voice?
at the center of mass of an object.
Locally, how do you how would you display gravity locally, my friend? Come on, speak with some oomph in your voice. I can barely hear you.
I don't know.
Tu veux me dire, t'as zéro explication dessus? Genre, même sur internet, t'as vraiment rien.
Mais si,
Lexa.
il y a la- c'est ce que je dis,
Lexa.
il y a la-
I got a question for Lexa.
mais il casse les couilles, là. Yes.
I got a question for Lexa. Lexa, are you playing a video game? Which video game are you playing?
BMNG.
What's the name? What's the name?
BMNG.
All right, you're muted. Okay, until you finish playing the video game, and when you're done, you come back. Okay?
Yeah, I did.
thank you, Gypsy. Thank you,
I get it.
Gypsy.
Fuck it. Yo, you almost threw him out. Where did that guy go? I was just here asking him a question. Oh yeah, like dude, like he just like respawned at the exact same place, making the same claim that got destroyed. Like what the hell?
Yeah, this conversation is way above him right now. He doesn't even know the arguments. The people that know the arguments get destroyed in here.
He's parroting, and his mind is doing something else. He's playing a video game and just parroting what he knows, and he's not looking at looking at the alternatives. He's
I
preoccupied.
just don't. I don't
His
think he
mind is
listened at all.
preoccupied.
Quite honestly, I
But
just
check
think
this-
he like turned it off.
Check this out. Quaza is his brother. He's in here right now. He's the one that's translating for you guys that are just joining us right now. So we got to
He
speak to
seems
Quaza
normal.
yesterday. We got to speak to Quaza yesterday, but his younger brother seems to have a great influence on the older one, and the younger one seems to be a bully to the older one. And I don't know. Quaza seems to really like that he's got a great mind to think about things, but that is also turned back around to Quaza, and now the little one is actually bullying the older one, and it's I don't know. It's pretty
They'll
bad.
figure it out. They're brothers. I fight with my brother. It's all good. They'll figure it out. But definitely don't allow your little brother to bully you, Quaza. I mean, he should be looking up.
With all due respect to your older brother, he's only 14. He ain't as bright as you think he is. He's just bamboozled you with a bunch of bullshit. Because you can't because I heard you say don't ask me, I don't know anything. Ask my brother,
Yep.
right? I heard you say that, right?
I'm not.
You're as smart as he is, believe me.
Or smarter, actually.
Yeah, maybe, possibly.
Well, I'm not into space like he is. I don't care that much about it.
So
That doesn't- that's not a
it's the shit that kills me, man.
That's not a gauge of intelligence, Quaza. That's not a gauge of intelligence, brother. That knowing about space.
I know what you mean, but I'm not as qualified as he is in this subject, right?
What the?
What that
Look, man,
translates
just because you can go to work and talk about black holes at the water cooler don't make you smart, man.
Hey, what that translates is
No, it's
you're
not-
not
it's not
as
what I mean,
emotional. You are not as emotionally invested and don't have like a romantic relationship with the space idea. And as
Yes, right. It's what I mean. Actually, yeah.
Correct.
I don't think obviously, I'm older, so I'm smarter than him, right? But I don't know as much as he do. I mean, you can say it's fake, but he knows more than me in this, in this field.
We got Vagabond. We got Vagabond who wants to come in here. Vagabond.
Hey,
Before
man,
you
how's it
jump
going?
in, hey, what's up, Vagabond? How you
Hey,
doing?
what's up, Indio?
Hey, not much. Doing pretty good. But I want to say something to this guy. One thing. Now, imagine he read Lord of the Rings, right? Or the whole series of J.R. Tolkien books. he just has knowledge of that, right? So he's taken his time to learn all these space fantasy stories, whereas you've not taken the time to do that. Doesn't make him smarter or dumber, or you dumber or smarter. He's just invested time into this, and as Gemsy said, he has to defend it. Otherwise, he just wasted all that time, right? Space is fake, and he read, you're sitting there playing space video games and reading space books and, dreaming about going into orbit. All that is wasted effort. So he has to protect it. Has to. Right? It's called the sunk cost fallacy. Right? You have to keep investing in something even though it's a losing
I
proposition.
understand what you mean, but sorry, I forgot the English word, but yeah, I understand sorry, I know don't what you say in English, but yeah, I understand that.
Yeah.
You understand the reference. La référence.
Yes, but I was talking about the fallacies, right?
What? Which one?
Like when you talk about gravity, for instance.
Okay.
No, I didn't pay much attention. I was in the vocal, but I was busy with work. But yeah, I overheard.
That's okay. That's okay. Well, if I may, so I think we should separate this topic into two different spaces. So understanding debate structure and logical fallacies is one side of debate, and then looking at just the concrete, like realistic observations and the mathematical proofs that can be had. These are two different things that we have to learn. So the logical fallacies is really important. That if your brother has a better grasp of them, you're going to feel dumber around him because he's going to be pointing out all of these mistakes in your judgment and all of these other arguments you've had together. But it's going to give him a strategic advantage over you in this debate. But what we're trying to tell you is like this debate is grounded in math. If you just study the subject of the flat earth and the math, you'll have more than enough ammunition to argue with your brother.
Yeah, okay.
And then still study the logical fallacies when you have time. But that would only help you stronger if you knew the math. Because you can't just pull out the logical fallacies if you don't understand.
I understand that. Of course,
You understand? If you don't understand the context of how it works in the argument, it's not going to serve you.
Without the
That's okay.
About what you're thinking about. Yes, of course.
That's okay. But did you understand my logic there?
Yeah, I did. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. That's all I wanted to say. Thank you.
Okay, because I don't have any religious beliefs, so to say. I don't defend as passionate as he is. So. I might change my mind, if I because I think I'm how do you say I need to prove stuff, I need to experiment. So if I can be proven that with real math equation, whatever, that the earth is flat, then yeah, I might start believing it.
Proofs on the ground that's under our feet. So it's like, the reason that they harp on things like the word gravity is because that's a big part of your mind getting pulled into the vision of a ball in your own head. But he's just saying, take the word gravity, just put it on a shelf for a second. And then density still does what gravity does. So let's just remove gravity for a second. And then like measure the floor, measure the concepts of like gas, how it moves around us. But not what we think, what do we really observe? And then you could break from what you've been taught because that's what you think, that's what everybody thinks, and then think for yourself and say, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Like water is always flat. You're like, oh, well, that's a fact. I don't need anybody to tell me that fact. I can see it every time I look at water. You know what I mean? But I have to have enough confidence in myself to say, yes, every time I see water, it is flat. And it doesn't matter what anyone says. I know it's flat every time I look at it. You understand? Mm-hmm. So you're looking from your perspective.
But of course, it raises a lot of questions.
Of course, yeah, I understand that.
There's there's a lot of things that I would love to understand, right?
Sure.
Like, why are we being pulled down, for instance? For instance, how navigation work, in airplanes, whatever. So
sure.
All of this, I would love to understand, right?
Sure, I understand. And those are logical questions, and so it all comes down to the amount of time you're willing to invest in that subject. Just like I believe India was saying earlier, he invested more hours studying this subject, so he's always going to sound more proficient than you. But that goes for every subject that humans study since the beginning of time. If I know more than you and you know a little bit and I know a lot, in a public conversation, I'm always going to sound smarter than you. But if it doesn't mean I'm right. It's just, and there needs to be someone that comes forth with a better argument than that person and has studied the subject better than theirs. So everything that comes out of their mouth can be handled properly so that they scratch their head instead of you scratching your head.
Right. He just joined the vocal now, so if you want to remove his mute, feel free to do so.
He's playing his video game, Quaza. We're not gonna mute him because he's playing his. I'd rather him play his game than him come in here and waste everybody's time.
Well, some people do play. Some people in the Discord, they play chess, they play different games, and they still pay attention to the conversation. But that's not what your brother is doing. His mind is completely into the game, and then he's just parroting stuff, and that's it.
Yeah. So basically, he's trying to talk about the topic like it's an off-throw topic. Like, I'm so smart. Let's just talk to these stupid people over here. But we're sitting here pointing out very specific things. And if his mind isn't tuned that way to be very specific, he'll miss it. So that's why I'm trying to say, like, you can easily catch up because it doesn't matter how long it takes you to catch up. The fact that you catch up is what matters, and you do the research.
I just wanted to talk about a couple of things that Vagabonds said, but put them together. So you've got the idea of someone being very well studied in a subject, which 100% everything you've said there is correct. I agree with you. And then you've also got the subject of logical fallacies. But the interesting thing about logic, because it's so kind of, let's just say it applies to every single aspect of our lives, you can often understand that someone's being illogical even with very little knowledge of a subject. And I think that's why it's very important to understand logic, because you can basically call bullshit. You can listen to someone making baseless assertions or just being illogical generally, even with very little knowledge of the subject.
Are you speaking to me?
Just to the room,
Yeah, no, I do agree with that. Actually, I do agree with that. I've only found value in it after I studied the flat Earth. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't know any of these. I probably heard like the most popular ones here and there, but I didn't even know what a logical fallacy was. You know what I mean? And I've been working in sales. I've been on 1,000 meetings. I've had very complex conversations, but we've never nailed down the subject because it just didn't come up. You know what I mean? And then when it did come up, I was like, oh, I see why this is important. I was like, I better learn these fallacies things before people start just using them on me and I don't even know that they're trying. Because remember, a dumb person surrounded by other dumb people that hold the same fallacy, it'll seem like they're all corroborating each other's opinion because you can't pop that balloon.
That was one of the things that when he mentioned Cavendish, called off the hop, stating appeal to an authority, which Mayhem sussed out in asking specifically what were the observations within the confines of the Cavendish in order to further your understanding of gravity. Now, again, stating what an appeal to an authority is, he literally said Cavendish. Okay, if you're appealing to Cavendish, the authority, that means that you hold absolutely no understanding of the merit of that observation. You're just pointing at him and saying, he did it, and he's going to take the fall if you suss me out.
I mean that you know what is the hypothesis in Cavendish experiment.
Je pense pas qu'il va vouloir.
What is the hypothesis in Cavendish experiment that we finish this story? There is no hypothesis in Cavendish.
Question for you, our friend.
For everybody, there is no hypothesis in Cavendish experiment. And now, sentence. California Institute of Technology physicist Sean Carroll, arguing in Edge that hypotheses are not simply useful tools in some potentially outmoded vision of science. They are whole point. The whole point missing in Cavendish experiment. or the science?
Do you understand the words that are coming out of my mouth?
The whole point it's missing in experiment. That means it's not experiment. That means it's not a science. That means
Can you let him speak, please?
there is no hypothesis in so-called Cavendish experiment, and hypothesis is whole point of experiment, of science, scientific method.
Yeah, but does he even know what a hypothesis is, let alone that?
That I'm saying. There is no hypothesis for Cavendish experiment.
I know he probably doesn't know that or what a hypothesis is.
I can read again. Hypotheses are not simply useful tools in some potentially outmoded vision of science. Their whole point.
No, I will let him speak, but the thing is, he was preoccupied playing the game and he can't focus on this conversation.
I think he's done because I don't hear him playing anymore. So if you want to let me speak now.
Is he going to answer straightforward? Is he going to say, let me explain? I don't want to hear him explaining. I need the evidence to back up if he knows the claim, yes or no.
I'm gonna... Okay, could you just demute him 10 seconds so I know if he's ready or not?
Alright.
Ok, t'es prêt ou pas?
Mais mec, je la connais pas l'expérience Cavendish, mais ils arrêtent pas de la demander, ça me casse les burnes en fait.
It's not going to go that way, Quaza. You already know. It's not going to go that way.
What do you
mean?
If
he goes, he said Cavendish. I heard him. We're not going there anymore.
He said that he's not familiar with this experiment, I think.
Okay, so Sasha, did you ask him a straightforward question? Or was it you, Heretic?
Now it's strange for me because he said I didn't say, but if I heard properly half an hour ago, some Cavendish was involved, and it came from his mouth or for somebody
Lexus.
Else.
It came from his mouth. But here's the context of that conversation. When I first approached him with that understanding, I think it was me and Jemsy that were talking to him, and gravity was the word that was being used. And when to provide evidence for gravity, he went on Google to research how he can provide evidence, and he went to the Cavendish, which then Indio came along and told him that it was not being able to be used. And he was talking to him and giving the explanation, and Lexa was too busy playing his video game that he didn't hear anything that Indio said. So this is the reason why now he's only going to answer anything people say and not go off and do explanations, because he doesn't know. So right now it's only for a time for him to be quiet and listen and then ask questions about what we say, not give us explanations because he does not know. So Quaza, you can tell him. I don't want to hear him tell us explanations because he doesn't know anything. He's learning things now. He's not teaching. He's not a teacher.
But Miggy, what if he does not know that he does not know?
Well, he's gonna have to. He's full of himself, though, man. He's really bullying everybody. So he's not.
He admitted he didn't know, though.
Yeah.
He admitted he didn't know, but then used it again anyway.
But I say, like, why not let him get it all out? You know
he did. This is his second session.
Multiple times. This would be his third if you want to go
Yesterday he was yelling his lungs. He was yelling his lungs into the mic. Miggy. Okay. He was yelling to everybody heard him. Even his brother came into the room. He was like, "Bro, what's going on in here?" He was yelling.
Why?
Oh, he got it out, man. Whatever it was he got it out.
I just got here, so like I didn't get here too long ago. Once I started talking, like I just got here, so I missed all of the previous.
He did got it out yesterday.
Yeah, he did. So right now is the time to learn and maybe ask some questions. If somebody wants to ask, tell him something. And if he doesn't know, for him to be honest and say, I don't know that. And that's fine. Intellectual honesty gets you a long way in this chat versus you thinking you know everything. You don't. You're 14 years old. You're just learning.
What's his name?
I have questions.
Lexa.
Lexa. Lexa, again, one of the
Lexa.
questions I asked you earlier after India was done with you. How would you locally demonstrate gravity?
Oh my god. Just as I probably told you, the thing is that I don't exactly know how to demonstrate the gravity effect, and I can't tell you in a proper way. That's the thing.
Thank you.
Gravity's supposed to be the cause. Hold on.
Thank you.
That's supposed to be the cause, though. Gravity's supposed to be the cause, not the effect.
Let's go with the major presentation of gravity, which Neil deGrasse Tyson used to speak about it, and him picking up the microphone. What do you think about that? Him dropping the microphone. Do you think that's a fair observation for gravity being displayed?
Well, no.
I don't know if he knows what you mean, Kiwi. Some people don't know what that.
I think it's what India said because
He's lucky they probably don't have Neil deGrasse Tyson on TV.
Yeah, they don't
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's
what I'm
very
saying.
good call. I apologize.
Use a demonstrate. Yeah, just use a demonstration that you can make him understand what you're talking about.
All right, my friend. So if I want to observe gravity as commercially shown, I would pick up something and then observe it dropping. Do you think that's a fair observation of gravity working?
Well, not exactly.
Why is that? Is gravity not a downward bias?
It's not always pointing down, it's just pointing to the center of Earth.
Center of what?
À terre, mais il t'a pas entendu.
The center of Earth.
Okay, so you're presupposing that there's a center, an attraction center.
Presupposing that that center is the center of a ball, so the globe is at the core of everything that he's claiming again.
Now, do you think that that point shows up in Australia?
Well, yes, Australia is.
So the relative downward bias would show in Australia and also where you are located.
Well, I don't really understand what you want to mean, but if what you're trying to say is that people in Australia will fall down, it's not the case. Indeed.
Right, but the idea of invoking this downward bias, would you not have to exert some kind of a force to it in order to observe a downward bias occur?
Well, you know, for me, there is no downward force. I mean, the only force that it is pulling me, you, and everyone on Earth is the gravity that Earth produces, and it's pointing to the center of Earth. When in Australia, it's not pointing down; it's pointing to the center of Earth.
So it's like basically what you've said is we're not floating around in the air because the Earth is a ball that we're sticking to.
Yes.
Okay, so now you got to go back to the first premise and prove that the Earth is a ball.
As I just told you, I'm not 100%. No, that's not what I want to be. I want to say just that I don't exactly know how to prove gravity, just because I'm not entirely sure how the experiments work.
But I mean, it's just a claim stack, right? Like, I mean, ultimately your argument is that the Earth is a ball, right? And then you go to gravity, and then that claim just goes like, oh, well, we're not floating around in the air because the Earth is a ball. Well, let's just go back to the first principle of the Earth being a ball and see if we can prove that.
Lexa, there's a bunch of channels, information channels in this Discord. I would recommend you to scroll down in the server, with information, read through there's a lot of links, videos, demonstrations. There's also a Wikipedia in the server that has a bunch of observations of reality. And once you go through a good amount of that information or some topics that you find interesting at your leisure, You come back here, you can ask questions and make comments and probably say, hey, I figured something out, guys.
If you want, I can give you a representation of what gravity is, but I don't think it is what you.
No, we already know the representation of the mainstream information. We already know that. We need you
arrows in a circle.
We need you to look at the information we're presenting to you, because right now you don't know any of the arguments. At all. Do you understand what I'm saying?
I want to ask you a question. Lexa. Now, let's say before there was a heliocentric model, I have a time machine, right? And I grab a Cavendish machine and I go back to 2000 BC, and I set it up and I go, look, guys, you backwards cavemen. This proves gravity. This proves Earth is a ball. This contraction. What do you think would happen? They'd fucking stone me to death or burn me. They'd be like, "Oh, this guy's retarded. Let's just kill him." You can't logically get to Earth as a ball from Cavendish. No matter what kind of mental contortions you do, it doesn't logically follow from that test, experiment, whatever, that Earth is a ball. Just doesn't logically follow from it.
Angolo, t'es débile, c'est ça qu'il dit là, t'es débile.
No, it's not the only proof that I have that the Earth is round.
Oh, okay. Okay, so we're abandoning gravity. So
this ain't gonna go well if you don't know what you're talking about, Lexa. The next thing that comes out of your mouth, I'm gonna get you on it if you don't know what you're talking about. I will. So right now, I'm telling you, please go look at the information, because if you come back with something that you don't know what you're talking about, I'm gonna get you.
Rien que tu peux prouver, ça t'as pas un autre truc.
So it's up to you. Take your time, go into the information we have at the bottom of the server, look at all the things we discuss. Perhaps later on you can come back and you understand the argument, you'll be able to talk about it. Right now, just like everybody's been telling you.
Hey, Mickey.
Okay,
yes, ma'am.
When my dog said, I'm going to get you, he growled, I swear to God.
I got you. Oh!
He's protecting you. That's why.
No, he's following suit with you. You're acting like a bulldog, dude. What's your favorite dog?
Mine? You wouldn't. You'd be kind of like stumped if I told you.
Oh, no. Now I have to know.
Well, they're small little. My wife has the name of it. It's a Yorkie.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, she's got a small. It's a little rat. It's a tiny little rat. But
you may know already, I have a long-haired Chihuahua. He's kind of fat right now. He's like, he needs to lose 2 pounds, like seriously. So he's supposed to be, well, toys are 6 pounds. He's 7 pounds, and now he's 9. So I got to dial it back for him. It's my fault. But he's still good. But anyway, you're acting like a bulldog's like, dude, I'm going to get your ass.
Yeah, if he comes in here with another, because I had his whole complete spiral yesterday, so we don't need that anymore. What we need is Lexa to take some time to go research all the arguments. If he really wants to be in here, that's what he should do. Not come in here and say, I know how this is, and then at the same time, when we... What?
Do you want a real argument?
Do I want one or do I know one? Don't step into it. You're going to step into it, Lexa.
Do you want a real argument?
No, you don't know any. You can't tell me, you can't give me something that you don't know.
Do you want one? I have one.
I don't want one from you. How about that?
He's a parrot. We don't talk to parrots.
I've been doing it.
Parrots.
I don't care what you are. Listen, I've been doing this for a long time. I know most of the arguments. I don't need your help. I need you to go research the flat earth and come back with your arguments against it. How about that? Go do that, Lexa.
Then I'm going to ask you a question.
No. I don't want to hear you asking me any more questions. Go do research.
So there's no point of talking.
For you, no. For you, no.
I'm gonna leave. So there's no point.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. Go ahead. There's thousands of low birthers. There's thousands of low birthers.
You never listen to me because you will always think I'm wrong.
Lexa, Lexa, you don't know. There is two things. That you can. There is talking and listening, right? You, sir, you should be doing listening, not talking.
Right now,
I've been listening from you for hours.
You don't have to listen, and you don't have to speak. You also have that as well. You don't have to listen. You don't have to speak.
But yesterday you listened to us for hours, and we asked you what you had learned from it, and you said nothing. You couldn't repeat back one thing you'd actually heard, so you need to listen a bit longer, maybe.
Lexa, respond.
He's muted. I didn't mute him, but he's muted.
Did you mute? Oh yes, you server muted.
No, I said I didn't mute him, but he's muted.
So he's gonna respond to that. Go ahead, Alexa. Respond.
Not anymore.
Okay, that's fine. Go through the information. Gather the observation.
But,
it's a scientific method.
The argument. You should let
gas pressure. He has to go through the definitions and read because he was reading from the gravity book. Remember, he said that, and he said he read it when he was very young. He's 14, so now he has to open other books and read those because he hasn't done that yet. So he's trying to spew what he read a long time ago.
And pro tip, Lexa, gravity is a derivative topic. The core claims of the globe would be curvature, spin, outer space. Try to focus on those.
Can I ask our brother something?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead.
For example, what do you think? He spoke about gravity and things. He's struggling. He wants to answer. He wants to find. For example,
okay.
Did you see that? But for example, do you know who is Neil deGrasse Tyson?
Who? Oh yeah, I know. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the yeah. And if you ask him what is gravity, do you know what he will answer?
No, because I don't really know.
I will quote him now.
I don't know.
That's the answer.
Next question.
I don't get what you said.
CP, can you repeat? Now you will hear what he said when people ask him what is gravity. Play it.
Like what it is? I have no idea. Okay, next question.
Okay, so he doesn't know. All right.
Yep. Now my question would be, how it's possible that people from wherever, you, me, trying to explain what is gravity, and the guy who is, let's say, at least we are saying for him is the most clever guy, astrophysicist, he doesn't know the answer, but we want to answer. That's very interesting. I find interesting that guy who is that it's he's how to say he studied about that. He's based, and he doesn't know the answer. But people like us, normal people, we know we want to explain what is gravity.
Yeah,
that's interesting. Do you find?
I think it's interesting.
Now it's second question. Should I listen that Neil deGrasse Tyson saying I don't know, or should I listen to people, whoever they are, explaining something?
It's up to you.
Okay. But
I don't know. Sorry.
But the Neil deGrasse Tyson, all his work, it's based on a heliocentric model.
Yes. Okay.
But my life is not based on a heliocentric model. My life is based on my vibe, on going to work.
Yeah. So in short, what Sasha is saying is that an authority figure on the subject of heliocentrism is not able to define what gravity is.
Yeah, I understand.
As a science communicator, and we get a 14-year-old child that comes in here and tries to lecture us on what it is when he tries to Google on the fly what it is. That's a huge disrespect to this panel. Huge disrespect.
I told you I didn't know, and you will keep asking me, what is this? What is this? Tell me. I told you I don't know, bro.
All right, so
let the record show you don't know. So don't talk about it anymore until you do know.
There you go.
Hey, Alexa, do you know
here, right?
My name is Lexa.
Oh, so yeah, Lexa. So do you know what a triangle is?
I do.
David.
What is a triangle? Can you tell us, Lexa? Sorry, I got background noise.
What did you say? What did you say?
What is a triangle, Lexa?
C'est quoi un triangle? Dis que c'est un triangle, c'est facile.
Well, a triangle is a geometrical form, I think I can say that has 3 faces.
Ah ouais, hein. À 3...
Alright. Well, once you're done, Jemsy, we got a treat for the panel. So I'm gonna play a clip.
Go ahead and take it because I have other stuff in the back.
Alright, so everybody mute up, please. I'm gonna play this one clip. It's 10 minutes long, but I think it'll be worth it. Because you don't know. I'm going to ask you, Lexa, do you know where the rocket goes when it goes out of sight?
Yes, I know.
Okay, how do you know?
I know because you can see it in the sky.
Yeah, and then after it disappears from your view, where does it go?
Well, you can see it. As I said, there is satellite. If you are careful at night, you can see, little flying dots.
You went from a rocket to satellite, Lexa. We're talking about the rocket. I don't care about satellites right now. We'll talk about those later. But the rocket
can stay in orbit, in debris, or just burn up in the atmosphere.
Yeah. How do you know that it goes into space like you think it does? How do you know that?
I can see the payload is launching.
What?
I can see the play. Oh my god!
What did you say?
Rocket has payload. Yeah. And this payload goes into orbit or goes further. It's not the case.
Yeah, you're saying that it goes into orbit. You're saying that it goes into orbit, but you don't witness it go into orbit. You just see a rocket.
That's what I'm saying. Okay, listen. Where? Listen. Into space, into orbit. Let me explain. For example, when I'm looking at, the ISS, I can see.
That's a satellite. That's a satellite. It's not a rocket. That's not a rocket. Talk about a rocket. Don't talk about a satellite.
Launched by a rocket.
Well, then talk about the rocket, not the satellite.
Well, as I said, the rocket just burned up in the atmosphere. You can even witness it. But the thing
is, does it come back down? So does rocket come back down?
Yes, but it come back down in
action. Then. All right. So then if the rocket comes back down, it's not going into where you think it's going, right?
Well, it's just the first stage. Just come back down.
Answer my question. No, answer my question. Answer my question. Answer my question. Does a rocket come back down and it doesn't go into space?
I'm gonna explain to you. There is.
No, you're gonna answer my question. You're not gonna explain.
You're gonna answer my question because
yes or no. Does a rocket go into space? Yes or no? Does it come back down?
Let me answer.
No, it comes back down. It comes back down. No, you're not giving me. You're not giving me straight answers, so you're not allowed to continue.
You are so fucking stupid. You don't even let me explain.
Because you're not being honest.
Rocket has multiple stages.
Honest. So what?
The first.
How do you know? How do you know that the third stage goes into space? How do you know that?
Because I can witness it with my own eyes.
Where? You're seeing a rocket go away from you. That's it.
You have fucking application app. Sorry, that can tell you when there's space debris, satellites, or just the ISS itself into the sky.
Yeah, but what?
So that's not you seeing it. If you have to look at an app on your phone, then that's not you seeing anything go anywhere.
On the phone, tell you when to look, and when you look into the sky, you see flying dots that's going above yourself.
That's a satellite. That's not a rocket. That's a satellite. That's not a rocket. That's a satellite. That's a satellite, not a rocket. We're talking about a rocket.
You so fucking dumb. That's not possible.
No, you're dumb. You're dumb for thinking that a rocket goes to space.
You are dumb because
you brought rockets into this.
You're the one that said this. You're the one that said rockets go to space and they come back down, don't they?
That's what
rockets come back down. You're saying that satellites are in space, but you're talking about rockets going to space.
Listen, okay, you want to listen to me?
No, I want you to tell me how rockets go to space when you know they come back down.
If you don't want to listen to me, I can explain to you.
No, I don't want to hear you explain about satellites.
And then you tell me I don't want to listen to you.
Tell me about rockets going to space. Tell me about rockets going to space, Lexa. That's what I want you to tell me.
Okay,
not satellites.
Listen to me. Listen, please. Rockets has multiple stages, and the first stage is usually just boosting the rockets up into space. Then, when the first stage finish burning off its fuel, the second stage is released, and that one is putting itself into orbit. And usually, the second stage or the first stage is staying into orbit forever.
Yeah, that's what we're told.
Unless it is not high enough, and it is slowed down by air friction.
Yeah, Lexa, that's what we're told. How
Are
do
you
we
done,
prove
Lexa?
this is taking place?
So third stage. No, hang on.
You don't even want to listen to me.
Yeah, third stage is not going into the vacuum of space. That's where your fantasy begins. You don't witness that, do you?
I do.
Where do you witness the third stage in space? You show me where the third stage is in space. How did you witness that? How did you witness the third stage go into space?
I witnessed that first in my
The third
life.
stage. No. Not the first or the second stage, the third stage. Because the other two fall down and you said the third one stays up there, right?
Yes, and you can
Okay. No, where? How?
This guy, I just like told you, there is an application.
You're lying. You're lying.
Tell you
an application.
For 1 fucking hours, I listened to your fucking explanation. It doesn't mean anything, and now you don't even want to listen. 30 seconds. How stupid are you, bro?
Because you're not giving us evidence. Lexa, you're not giving us evidence that rocket. No, you're not. You're showing us that an app is telling you that it's up there. I don't want to look at an app.
And when the app is telling you, just look above and you fucking see a dot in the.
Dude, that's not a lie.
You don't, dude.
And you keep flip-flopping too. You brought up rockets and then you go to a satellite, right? Hey, you brought up rockets and then you go to a satellite.
How long is the
claim
clip,
that rockets go into outer space, right? And instead of actually demonstrating it, all you do is just reassert the claim over and over and over again. We want verification for the story.
Real quick. I just want to ask Lexa, next time when you're done with all this, go back and watch all your little rocket launches, and you'll see that there is no video of what you're claiming. Everything turns into a computer graphic on the screen.
All right, getting this complete footage of their.
No, you don't witness it going to space, Lexa. You just see the app, or you see the app. Listen, hang on, man. Because you see the app, or you see a computer screen. You do not see with your own eyes.
That's what I'm trying to say.
No, you don't.
Listen.
You don't.
Listen.
No, you don't.
Listen.
You want to lie. Go ahead and lie to me. Lie to me, Lexa.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you something.
Lie to me. Go ahead, lie to me.
You know, when I'm going to the app that is telling me, for example, for the ISS, the International.
Why are you talking about a freaking app, dude? You're talking about an app again. I don't want to know about an app. You say you witnessed a rocket go to space.
I'm just telling you that the app is just telling you when to.
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't care about an app.
Listen. Why in the sky can I see an extremely bright dot that is going over the horizon?
We do not care.
Why can I see that? It's not a flying star. I don't know how to say that, but why can I see a flying dot sky? It is not a plane.
What? Because it moves in cycles around in the sky, so you can post-tick those cycles.
It doesn't mean anything, bro.
So what about technology going above your head? I don't understand. Why are you so hung up on technology that's above our head? Why is that something important to you? What I'm asking you is, how do you know that it's in space, like the vacuum of space? How do you know it's there? It could be just... No, wait a minute, man. You want to interrupt me? Like, I'm talking about it being in the place where you think it's going, as in where we're knowing that it's at. It's just high up in altitude, in the upper parts of our sky. You're saying that it's going to space. And I'm like, how do you know that? You're like, well, I got this app. What I'm telling you is it's just really high in space, in the sky, not space. So it's up really high in elevation. I can get that, but it's not going to your fantasy space idea, Lexa.
Okay, so why it is going so fast around the horizon?
Who cares? Who cares? It's not going to space.
So fast, it would burn up in like a second.
What? It's not going to your fantasy space, Lexa. It can be up in the sky. That's fine. Nobody's challenging you on that.
Because it is going.
But it's not going to your space.
Just a second.
It's not going to space, and you can't provide evidence for that either. That's why we're telling you.
Yes, I can. You don't.
No, you cannot.
I'm telling you. It's
no, you can't.
10 minutes. I'm telling you.
There's
You
no
don't
evidence.
have the fucking
You got no evidence. You got no evidence.
See the satellite orbiting the Earth. You suck.
You got no evidence, and you know it. You got no evidence, and you know it, Lexa.
You are the dumbest crop mankind ever known, bro. This is
cool. Lexa, the language.
This is why sometimes I lost faith in mankind, bro.
Can we get
you lost faith in mankind because you don't understand what reality is, Lexa. You don't understand it. We're trying to tell you.
You are the dumbest crop I've ever heard of.
You're spiraling, man. Cut it out. can we get to the brass tacks of your claim? Basically, it goes like this. Why do I see a light in the sky if the Earth is flat? As if the Earth has to be a ball for that light to be there in the sky, but you already conceded on all three core premises of the globe, right? The curve, the rotation, the spin. You don't know how any of those were determined in the first place, right? So a light in the sky is not going to tell you that the world is this ball that you've never known it to be measured to be.
Why do I see a lot of lights traveling into the sky when I'm being... Oh, example. Okay, when website or something like that is telling me right now there's something that's going to fly above you in like 5 minutes, and 5 minutes later I see in fact...
Who cares? Is that a curvature measurement?
Why is it right? Why?
Who cares?
Well,
It's
Nora,
not in space. It's not in space. It's just in the upper part of the sky, Lexa. That's what I've been telling you.
Why is it okay? If it were to be in the upper side of the sky, it would burn up extremely fast because of the...
No, that's what you keep saying.
Bro,
That you
to
keep-
travel the horizon this fast, you would have to go as... Yes, you fucking...
You keep saying that, but you don't have no evidence, Lexa. You keep saying that, but you have no evidence.
You need...
That's a bit spicy. Yeah, that triggers all the Globers. Even Bro One was like, "What's the point of this?"
Have the pillars of men reach new heights that they've never been before?
He doesn't like that we talk about there is no space. That's his whole world. Don't take my space away.
Yeah, space is only 100 years old, bro. Sorry to tell you.
He's going with lunar eclipses now for curvature proofsies.
Oh, I can talk now. Great.
What?
Oh, I got this one, guys. I got this one. Please. Lunar eclipses are my favorite subject.
Take it away.
Now, before this, let me go ahead and pull up your name, sir, because we're going to have a back and forth if you'd like. And the one thing I'm not going to have is you talking over me.
No, and I don't want you to talk for me too, alright?
Right. So when I'm talking, I'll just mute you so that, you're not actually talking over me. And when you talk, I'll just let you talk.
I don't really like that, but alright.
All right. So what is a lunar eclipse in the heliocentric paradigm?
So a lunar eclipse is when the sun, earth, and moon is aligned, when where the sun is at first, the earth second, and the moon third. So when there is a full moon, the earth just blocks off the light that is going from the sun to the moon.
So it's in a line, so it's 180 degrees apart from each other.
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever seen an eclipse, a lunar eclipse for yourself?
You mean if I ever saw one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I did.
Okay. Did you notice how the moon was above the horizon?
Well, of course it is.
Right. And you know that there are times that this happens at dawn when the sun is also above the horizon?
Well, the sun can't be over the horizon because
that's
they
just
wouldn't
true.
be aligned.
Yeah, you're right. That's what I'm saying.
It doesn't happen when the sun is over the horizon.
You're 100% right. So if we show you this video of the moon and the sun both above the horizon during this eclipse, what would you say to that?
Alright.
That it's not in alignment, right? Because geometrically speaking, that creates a triangle. If you were to draw a line from the Earth to the sun,
I'm looking at the video right now, but I can't see much. Are you sure it's a lunar eclipse, man? The moon doesn't even look to cast shadow on it.
Yeah, no, not that. I'm looking for the eclipse guys where the guy is like, I think I'm not sure, but he's high up in elevation, and he has red beard, I believe. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I'm watching the
Spake,
video.
yeah, Spake, we saw it. Oh, that's Heretic posting it again. Spake.
Alright,
So anyway, so there he is. There's the guy right there. Watch this video right here. Watch it with us.
Okay, so I'm currently watching it. Now I have a question for you.
3 minutes and 19 seconds. That's the video you're watching that was just uploaded only like 2 seconds ago. You're watching it?
Oh, yes, I'm watching.
All right. What
So
timestamp
now
are
I
you
have
at? What
a question
timestamp are
for
you
you.
at, bro? What timestamp are you at?
Sorry?
What timestamp are you at in the video?
The video, I'm at 30 seconds.
Say again?
30 seconds. Now at 35.
30 seconds. Okay. Pause it there.
Yes.
Right. Screenshot it. Show me.
Alright.
So that I know we're looking at the same thing. I'll post it to you as well.
I mean, you're just seeing the guy in a white dot in the background.
This is what you see?
Yes.
Okay, go on. What's your question?
Well, the question I have is the shadow casted by the Earth on the Moon, as we can see, is completely round because because the Earth is round and the shadow it is casting is completely round. So if the Earth was flat, we won't see such thing. Tell me why I see a round shadow.
I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
You see that GIF right there? That Heretic just
I'm
posted?
going down. Which GIF?
20 minutes past the hour with the what does that look like? It looks like a lemon or something. Lemon squeezy parcheesi.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's not completely right. I mean,
oh, it's not. Yeah,
no. Listen. Listen. The video is extremely low quality. I'm sorry,
yeah,
but
listen. We can all see that there's a curve on there. With as low quality as it is, we can see
bro,
what's
I
going
can't
on.
see anything, bro.
Okay, well, back to the lunar eclipse where things are supposed to be 180 degrees in alignment, a syzygy, if you will. Back to the video I was talking about. Why aren't those things in a syzygy?
In a syzygy.
Aligned.
Yes. Why are they aligned?
They're not aligned.
What is not aligned?
I thought you were watching the video. Press play. Continue watching.
The GIF or the video you just sent me?
The video that we were looking at.
Right. So you tell me that they are not aligned. So I'm just looking.
So
the
just
video,
watch the video. Yeah.
I can't really see the sun. I mean, I'm
not yet because you haven't got to the point of the video where he looks at the sun.
So I think I'm seeing the sun. I mean, there's just an extremely bright light at a certain point, but
you think that's like a lamppost? A moving lamppost?
When you look at the other side, I mean,
what do you think that light is that you're talking about? You think it's the sun? Do you think it's a fish? Do you think it's a refrigerator? Or
you know that there can be lights coming from the sun, even if you can't really see it. If even if the sun is not, even if you can't see the sun, you can still receive light from it. When the sun has set, it is not completely dark.
Yeah, wait till you actually see the sun hitting coming into the camera.
So he's showing the moon, very low quality, and then he's showing what can seem to be the sun, but I can't even really see if this is the sun. I think it is, but I'm not even sure if I'm witnessing a moon eclipse. I mean, sorry, but
It is a lunar eclipse. You can see the sun. As a matter of fact, look at his finger. He can see it because he's looking at it without the camera, right? Check
yeah,
this
but
out.
there is something you could not explain. Just is that
No, it's nothing to explain. It's just something to describe.
there's something.
No. Don't overtalk me. It's not something to be explained. It's just something to be described. See this right here that I just posted?
Yes.
Wait, I can't even see what I just posted. What happened? Hold on. Oh, okay. I never sent that the first time. Wow. Okay. Well, you see that right there?
Yes.
That's the sun.
All right.
Okay. And on the other end is the moon,
Yes.
right? So the problem with that is they're not in alignment then.
Are you sure that you and the guy in the video is witnessing a moon eclipse? Because at one point, the moon
Yeah,
is supposed
it's
to be.
definitely an eclipse. You can see the sun and you can see the moon.
Yes, but it is not because the moon is not entirely lighted up that it is, of course, a moon eclipse. I hope you are aware of that.
There's 46,000 views on this video from 11 years ago. Why are you questioning whether or not this is an eclipse that this man went outside?
Why the view
and experienced?
counter would matter of the truth of something? Are you aware that there is a lot of fake video on the internet that has a lot of view, and it is not because they have a lot of view that they are true?
Excuse me?
This is not because a video have a lot of view that it is true.
No, you're questioning that it is a video of an eclipse. It's titled Lunar Eclipse, and I'm looking at it, and yeah, it's a lunar eclipse.
Okay.
You know how I know?
Mm-hmm.
Because when else is the sun and the moon in this position?
I don't know. Tell me.
When an eclipse happens. That's the point.
Okay. Now, I just want to mention the fact that when the sun, the Earth, and the Moon is perfectly aligned, the Moon is completely casted with shadow and almost invisible. So,
that's brilliant.
And in that case, the Moon is not completely casted with shadow, and it is probably why. That's probably why because. I mean, okay, sorry. I'm gonna repeat it again in a better way. So, the Earth and the Sun and the Moon are not perfectly aligned, but they are still, in a way, a bit aligned. So it makes it that only a small part of the Moon is casted with shadow, but they do not require to be perfectly aligned. They need to be aligned, but not extremely perfectly. And it wouldn't seem odd to see a little bit of the sun and a very little bit of the moon at the same time and still witness a shadow on the moon.
Here's the thing, hot stuff. The heliocentric explanation is that you're not right now. What you're seeing in this man's camera, you're not seeing it. Both of these things are below the horizon, like 0.05 degree, like 0.5 degrees or something like that. So, in other words, what you're seeing is a mirage. So you're not actually seeing the sun, nor is the man seeing the moon that he's been seeing traverse the sky probably the entire night. Because they're just for lack of a better word, a hologram of the actual moon and actual sun. That's the explanation. I don't expect you to understand that. Let's get into. Yeah, that's not my words. That's their words. Google it. But here's the thing. Here's the thing. You know how you think that this is the major point right here. You know how you think that the Earth is blocking the light, causing the shadow on the moon?
Well, yes, the Earth is.
Do you see this GIF right here or this picture right here that obvious it be posted at 3:25 minutes or 25 minutes past the hour?
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a lunar eclipse happening. Now, if he's standing on the Earth taking a picture of the moon, how could it be that the shadow begins at the top of the moon if that is the Earth's shadow? Explain that to me.
Well, we don't know the position of the sun.
The position of the sun is 180 degrees behind him. So, again, if the moon is moving into the Earth's shadow, why is it that the shadow begins at the top?
Well, because I mean, it is at top. Actually,
Are you looking at the photo right there, the failing globe
I am
theory?
the failing globe theory. I think.
Right. So he's standing on the Earth, and that shadow right there is supposedly what's being caused by what he's standing on. Explain that to me?
Well, just it depends on the angle of the moon compared to the angle of the Earth. I mean, if the angle is set, it's kind of hard to explain.
Well, doesn't
If
that
it's
look
set-
like?
Sorry.
Doesn't that look like about 20 degrees, 30 degrees? What do you mean the angle?
20 degrees, 30 degrees of what?
Off of where he's standing. What do you mean by it depends on the angle of the Earth and the moon? We're looking at it. He's standing on the Earth. He's taking a photo of the moon. I'm just trying to figure out how the shadow would be at the top. Can you explain that to me?
Does not really require to start at the top or the bottom.
Oh, I'm sorry. So if there's a light on in your room and I put my hand in front of your face, is it going to appear in your stomach? The shadow?
What is this comparison, bro? No. It doesn't, I mean, sorry.
Like if there's a flashlight being pointed directly at your face,
okay,
and I intercept it with my hand, are you expecting the shadow of my hand to be upside down on your face?
No, but listen.
Okay.
Okay.
Go on.
Putain, t'es encore là.
Mais oui, non, mais ils sont mecs, c'est des phages, je te jure. Bon.
Come on, go ahead.
Alright, so it just depends on the angle which the eclipse is starting from. It is not the comparison you just made is not.
Yeah, the angle in relation to the Earth. So you're standing on the Earth as it relates to what you're seeing in the sky. Okay, you know the sun is behind you. Go on. Because you see, it looks like daytime, right? Right. So the sun is up 180 degrees behind the cameraman. Okay, so the sun is up, the moon is up. Keep in mind, you're not actually looking at the moon right now. That's a mirage, right? But anyway, from below the horizon, which it is projected upward, how is the shadow on the top of this?
Man, I mean, sorry, but if the sun is behind that man, it is not possible for the moon to be light this way.
Oh, right.
All right. This means you are not witnessing lunar eclipse, bro. I mean, okay. Listen. Before laughing, we have no image or no clue where the sun is at this right moment.
Some of these we've taken ourselves.
I'm sorry, but there is no.
I'm sorry. Some of these photos we in this server have taken ourselves. We know exactly where we were.
Yes,
we
and
know
I know where you were and where the sun is supposed
so you're
to
just
be.
highly skeptical. So high skepticism for us, no skepticism for the globe.
I'm sorry, but where the sun is supposed to be, I don't know. You told me
What?
it was 180 degrees behind.
What do you think? What do you think a selenilian eclipse is?
I know what it is, man. I know.
So what? Google selenilian eclipse and read out loud to me what it says.
So you want a solar eclipse?
SELENION. I think.
Google-le, vas-y.
Mais ça veut rien dire. Hein.
Vas-y, tu verras bien ce qu'il y a marqué.
I found nothing. Mais je trouve rien, il fait S-L-E-N-U-P.
Are you listening? Are you listening?
Yes.
SELENION. Eclipse.
Alright.
Yeah, read it out loud.
Okay. Alt plus Shift plus A, Alt plus CMD plus A on Mac. That's the only thing I found in it.
C'est pas ça.
Les mecs, mais ils disent n'importe quoi. Je trouve rien sur le net. Je sais pas c'est quoi leur truc à la con. Là.
And what is? Can you translate that for us?
Translate what? What'd you say? He said that he doesn't find it. Could you just provide the link? That would be easier, I think.
They got Google over there. I asked him to Google it. What?
He did, but he cannot find it.
That's interesting. Oh, is it like a language thing or something?
You know what? Just copy the Google search, right, and send it him in DM.
All right.
Why don't you just read it?
Because I want you to read it. That's why I asked you.
Just send him that. That's easier, I think.
Here, post that into your search bar.
Alright. Alright. So it is a type of lunar eclipse where both of the eclipsed moon and either rising or setting sun are visible at the same time. Happy now?
Right. So they're describing to you what you're looking at in the chat, where you're like, I don't know where the sun is. That can't be an eclipse. Blah 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 blah. Yada yada. Yeah, that's what that is. It's an eclipse. So how is the shadow of the Earth on the top portion of the moon? Was the question.
Let me guess for a second.
T'as compris la question ou pas?
Oui, oui.
Ok.
Demande pourquoi l'éclipse commence.
Yeah, 33 minutes past the hour. That's someone by the name of Bambi. She took that photo during an eclipse for the server. So again, if she's standing on the moon, and she fucking is, I mean, if she's standing on the Earth, and she is, how is what she's looking at the Earth's shadow?
Okay, so do you see the image that just got sent at 32 past the hour?
No.
There is an image that got posted 32 past the hour, not the fading blur theory, the image past that. Can you see it?
Yeah, you might be posting in the wrong place.
I'm in live stream roll stakes.
Can't see it either.
Okay, I'm just gonna mention it.
Can y'all see it?
No. Oh, okay. Okay, now I can.
So, okay, if you are standing at the top of the Earth, I mean the North Pole, let's just imagine that even if this is not the case, and you are looking down at the moon, look, there is multiple you see there is the moon going into eclipse, and if you see the moon all the way down, just the one on the top of the one all the way down, you see that there is a shadow cast on the top. And imagine you are at the top of the Earth, not exactly, but let's just imagine that. And you're looking at the moon, you see that the eclipse is starting from the top. Yes.
Comment ça,
I hope you understand what I say. If you didn't, just tell me. I will try to explain.
I'm looking
No,
at
I
the
didn't.
graphic.
I didn't.
Well, yeah, I'm looking at the graphic. And this is showing like different positions.
Can I have the permission to do a live stream really quickly, just to show you?
No, nobody can do a live stream in this room. Not even me.
So, imagine you are.
No, I'm looking at the diagram. What's hard to understand about it?
Okay.
I get it. I
You're
get
at
it.
the top, but a little bit at the right, and the eclipse is the moon is coming from the bottom to the top. Let's just imagine that. And the eclipse, from your point of view, will start from the top of the moon to the bottom.
Does it?
But well, yes. It would seem like that. Yes.
What's that? That's the other side. Okay, United States is on the lit side.
Ah, moi, je les ai pas, mec. Je les ai
Let's
pas.
see. Because here in where was it? It was somewhere in the West. Who took the I think OK got a shot of the eclipse last time here in the United States, somewhere in like the West or something, like Midwest maybe.
And
Je te jure, il faut vraiment qu'il fasse la troposphère. Hein.
mec, c'est des fois.
Ah,
Je vais faire un petit schéma, tu vois. Okay. I'm gonna do a little representation so it's easier for you to understand. Let's just let me just 1 minute really quickly. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
Fais ce que tu peux là, vraiment.
Oui.
Au mieux.
It's really hard to draw. Okay, I try to do something. I hope it will be more clear. Oh, I can send image. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna send it in the debate text. Okay. Okay, just save.
Yeah, because this image that you told us to look at from the who posted that for you? Heretic. And you said, look at that image, and I am, and I'm trying to figure out what.
I just send it in the debate text.
I'm not in the.
Ça sent qu'ils sont gros quand ils parlent, tu sais, genre vraiment quoi.
I'm not in the debate text.
Well, I'm sorry, but I can't send it in the live stream voice text, so you have to go to the debate text to look at it. I just sent it at 42 past the hour.
Okay. Yeah, we're already looking at that. Okay. Oh, right. I see what you're saying. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
Explain to me.
Oh, va voir, casser.
Absolutely not, bro.
Explain to me why.
because you can see the moon the entire night, right? So you can get the angle, the declination, and all of that. The hold on one second. What's up?
Il est en train de se faire femme, il arrive pas à répondre ce con.
Je crois qu'il y a sa maman qui vient d'arriver là. Genre, tu sais, pas sa mère, genre sa grognasse de femme.
Je t'ai fait les 5 kilos de ma fille à te manger.
It's part of the server rules. English only. We cannot moderate other languages.
No, we are not swearing at all. Don't worry.
It doesn't matter if you're swearing or not. It's part of the terms of service for the whole server, so you're gonna have to cut it out.
Sure. Okay.
Well,
It's also called etiquette. ETIQUETTE if you want to check it out.
I'm not misunderstanding the eclipse. I just explained. Look at what I sent you the debate text. Please.
Hey, don't forget, guys, we got Donald C in here as soon as we get done with Lexa.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's hard. Sorry, I'm back. It's hard to understand because number one, you're just standing in the middle of the ocean. This isn't real. This is a side view, so it's hard for people to understand what you're trying to convey. You've arbitrarily circled one of the positions of the moon, and you're like, this is what's going on.
Wait, you just
because here's the thing. The moon, you see the moon would have to be going in the opposite direction, and the moon only goes in one direction all the time, right? So
Il te prend vraiment pour un PC.
Non, mais écoute.
yeah, so you see how at the bottom, the one that you circle, it would have to be going from west to east for it to set into the Earth's umbra from what you drew. So I'm not thinking that you're trying to convey that message. I'm just trying to help you out. If I'm not getting where you're going with this, specifically because obviously the moon doesn't go from west to east. Right?
Yes.
Right. So I mean, you have a I don't know. I don't know where you want to go from here, Miggy. I mean, it's cool if Donald or whoever wants to have a conversation.
Yeah, we're gonna put Lexa on mute because we've already spoken to him here. We had like 2 sessions with him, or maybe 3.
Okay,
so
I just have one small last question, please.
Lexa, just put yourself on mute because we've already had conversation with you. So go ahead and put yourself on mute, or else we will put you on mute. So please put yourself on mute.
Really small.
All right, so
yeah.
Yeah, epic. Brilliant. Clip that. Get copy on that, please.
Spartans! What is your profession?
See, old friend, I brought more soldiers than you did.